All right. Well, welcome everyone to Birmingham Bible Church's Winning Wednesday. We are so honored that you have decided to join us here once again in this virtual space. Last week, we took Thanksgiving off because y'all weren't gonna listen to me no way. Last week y'all were too busy making sure that turkey was doing what it's supposed to be doing, and the dressing and pies and whatever. And so happy post Thanksgiving to everyone, and happy holidays. Of course, thank you for joining us here on today. Once again, we are bringing you some very important, very valuable information. On today, it is regarding our health. And we always like to say that even though you may not need this information now, you may need it later. If not for yourself, maybe someone that you know or someone that you love. And when that time comes, you can say, hey, I heard about something like that on Winning Wednesday. I think we should get a second opinion, or that don't sound right. Let's get that checked out. But you can either watch this now. This stays up forever and ever on Facebook and YouTube, or you can watch it later. So welcome to all of you who are watching via Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or through the My Sunday app. Welcome everyone. If you have a question, hopefully we can get it answered, but you can please put it in the comment section on Facebook or either on YouTube. Don't forget our Facebook page is Beham Bible Church, formerly known as the Church of the Way International. Our YouTube page, which is very easy to find, is BHAMBC. And of course, we are on Twitter, James Mason 1, and Twitter as TCOWI.org. November has a lot of stuff. We have talked about a lot of stuff this month. We got our young people looking for scholarships. It's Scholarship Awareness Month. So go back and listen to Shada. She really laid it out on how you can find free money for school. Parents, go back and look at that. Make sure your children watch that. We also had LaShawn. She talked about caregivers. If you need a caregiver, if you need a job as a caregiver, please look her up as well. And we also had Deborah Witt. She talked about diabetes. And so we're just really trying to make sure we are all well-rounded Christians. We always like to say that, churches are good at, really telling us how to get to heaven. But we also need to learn how to live here on earth. And so we want to have life, have a full life, and have it more abundantly. So on today, I have my friend Snapper here. We are going to talk about pancreatic cancer awareness. This is something that it has been around. He and I was just talking about how a lot of times we know about it through celebrities, but it happens on a daily basis. And so somebody is touched by it, somebody gets it. But we want to raise some awareness on today. Hopefully we can answer all of your questions through this wonderful presentation that he has. But he is with the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network. He is the community relationship manager. Had a great time even in April, bringing all of our ladies to a railroad park to help raise the awareness of pancreatic cancer and do our job in the community. And so I present to some, introduce to others, Snapper Freeman. Hey, Snapper.
Hello there, and
There
of
we
course
go.
I was on mute.
That's okay.
Man, thank you so much for having me today. Greatly, greatly appreciate this.
Yes, sir. Thank you for blocking off some time. I know you're really busy because it's November and you're probably trying to get all these ducks in a row and make sure everything is running smoothly, because you actually navigate. I think you told me the Southeast. I forgot what air, but that's a lot. That's a lot to do. And so thank you for giving us just a little piece of your time.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And look, it's all about raising awareness, and that is exactly what you are doing. The people will hear the term fundraising, but I tell people we are awareness raisers. If we can point the family in the right direction through one of our events or being in the community, that's what we are here to do. And look, Lady Pam, you yourself, you are an awareness raiser, and we appreciate you doing that. As highlighting pancreatic cancer, we cannot thank you enough. And with you having Miss Witt talking about diabetes, last time. This can be a more perfect lead in to talk about pancreatic cancer. So a huge thank you to you for everything that you do.
Yes, sir. Thank you so
All
much.
right.
Thank you so much. Well, I'm gonna let you have the floor and listen. Oh, also everyone, if you're watching, make sure you share this video, copy and paste, whatever you do, tag somebody in the comment section. But make sure you get this word out. Okay. So we don't want to keep this information to ourselves. We want to pass it on to others. And so go ahead, Snapper, you got the floor.
All right. Thank you so much, Lady Pam. And look, I know you will be monitoring the chat for me. So if you see any questions in the chat, please let me know. So I will go ahead and share my screen and we will get started. Okay. So let me get the presentation up. I actually want to do the slideshow version. Give me just a second. All right. So again, I just want to thank everyone for joining today. Thank you for spreading this message. A lot of people do not know about pancreatic cancer. You will hear the stats in this presentation. Our awareness rate is only at 18%. So when we are going across the country and we are in communities and we are in churches, grocery stores, you name it, it's 18% of the country that actually knows about pancreatic cancer. That is way too low. Okay. Our 5-year survival rate is even lower. That is at 12%. So I tell people, if we had 100 people in this room and we asked 88 to leave, those 12 people that are still standing here, that's representative of our 5-year survival rate. Okay. But again, a huge thank you to everyone for taking this time today. And we need you to spread this message. We cannot thank you enough. Today, we are going to cover 4 different parts. We'll talk about pancreatic cancer in the US. We'll talk about PanCan's mission, our impact, our goals, what we really do in the community. We also want to go over reducing your risk for pancreatic cancer. This is November awareness. Couldn't be a better time to highlight reducing those risks for pancreatic cancer. Then lastly, we also want to talk about Purple Stride. That's what Lady Pam was talking about in April, where they had such a great time, and we can't thank them enough. And we look forward to an even better Purple Stride this year. All right. So, talking about pancreatic cancer in the US, it is the world's toughest cancer. When it's diagnosed, it's not pretty. People will get online, they'll look at stats. The first thing people want to do is Google. That's the worst thing you can do. I'll just be honest. What you'll find is not pretty. This is not a pretty disease. Okay. This is the world's toughest cancer. By 2030, it is actually expected to be the second leading cause of cancer-related deaths. Okay. Just this year, and you'll see more stats in this, but just this year, more than 64,000 people will be diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. Of those 64,000, over 50,550 will die. Okay. That's scary. I just want you to remember, look at that number, 64,000, and think 50,550 will pass away from that cancer. Okay. In our lifetime, you can see 1 in 59 will actually be diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. With our awareness rate only being at 18%, it's scary to think that 1 in 59 people will be diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in their lifetime. Our awareness rate should be a lot higher. And as I said, the 5-year survival rate is only at 12%. I was at a conference one time, and you will hear the stats, you can see the numbers, but to see it represented with people is different. At this conference, the ballroom was completely full of people, and there was a small dance floor at the front of the room. They asked everyone to clear the dance floor so that the survivors could come up to the room, come up to the front. And that's when you saw that survival rate represented with people. And that's something I will never forget. As full as that room was, but the little amount of survivors that were in that room, and it was a true reminder of the work that we've got to do. So again, I'm going to sound like a broken record. Thank you for being here and thank you for spreading this message. Okay. But pancreatic cancer, it does affect all communities, but it primarily affects African Americans and Ashkenazi Jews. Why is that? We don't truly know. Could it be socioeconomic status, environment, genetics? Who knows? Is it our food? Is it, you can see on the screen, is it barriers to quality in healthcare? There's so many factors that could come into play, but the research has been done, studies have been done. This is a disease that primarily affects African Americans and Ashkenazi Jews. And so here lately, we have been making a correlation between diabetes and pancreatic cancer. That's why I'm so thankful that Miss Witt did her presentation on diabetes, helping raise awareness for that as well. And, you know, thank you again to Lady Pam. You know, diabetes and pancreatic cancer, bringing that together, it's all about raising that awareness. And so we're going to figure it out one day. Why does it affect Blacks and African Americans, Ashkenazi Jews? Why does it affect us the most? We're going to figure it out one day, but we don't actually know. So you can see in general, survival after a cancer diagnosis is shorter for people of all races who have a lower socioeconomic status and who live in a more rural area compared to those with higher socioeconomic status who live in or near a metropolitan area. Now, my territory for the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network covers Georgia, Alabama, Louisiana, and we are working on Mississippi. So when we're talking about this slide right here, honestly, that's a lot of my territory, y'all. A lot. And that's why I say there's a lot of work that we've got to do. Okay. When I'm in these rural areas, a lot of doctors and healthcare systems don't know the resources exist. I've talked to many patients and survivors who their doctors have basically told them to get their affairs in order. That shouldn't be the final answer. I want those people to go get a second opinion, go get a third opinion. Let's fight. You know, it shouldn't just be, oh, you got pancreatic cancer. Let's give up. I can't take that answer. Okay. And so in these rural areas, we've got to get the information to these doctors. We've got to get it in the communities. We've got to get it out. And it's, like I said, it's about raising awareness. If we can help point someone in the right direction to let them know that the resources exist, that's what we've got to do. Public education is paramount, okay? As I said, 83% of people are unaware of the signs and symptoms of pancreatic cancer. Cancer screenings dropped drastically during the COVID pandemic, leading to later diagnosis and increased mortality. People were not able to get in to see the doctors. They were not able to get the tests they needed to have to get the diagnosis for pancreatic cancer. So is there a chance that we'll see in 2 to 3 years that the rates have actually increased or decreased because of the pandemic? That's a possibility. But again, in these rural areas where people do not have access to healthcare, they don't have access to the best resources, the best diets, nutrition, things like that. We've got to do much better. And it's about spreading that word, getting that message out, helping point a family in the right direction. Even if it's a doctor, a nurse, healthcare partner, they need the education as well. Okay. But when we talk about PanCan, where we come into play, since 1999, our mission has been to take bold action to improve the lives of everyone impacted by pancreatic cancer. Our vision is to create a world in which pancreatic cancer patients will thrive. How do we do this? We do it through a comprehensive approach. We are the first organization dedicated to fighting pancreatic cancer in a holistic way. So on the screen, you'll see we tackle this from research, patient services, advocacy, the community. Now, I come into play on the community side. Even though I may be on the community side, I preach our patient services department. They are integral to what we do. I will be out in the community and I will give people 2 of my business cards. And I say, hey, these cards are for you, but you may be out in the community. You could be in a grocery store, you could be at church, and you hear pancreatic cancer. I need you to think about this card, flip it over, and have this person call our patient services department. Our patient services department is just the most amazing. I can't say I'm speechless about what they do. Everyone I talk with that has talked with our patient services department, they live by it. It's the best thing that you can do. And honestly, you see, I can't find the words to say how magical they are, honestly. So with our patient service department, you don't have to be a patient. You don't have to be a survivor. Anybody with a general question can call our patient services department. And the big thing about that is when you call them, you get connected with that same case manager that you were talking with before. So it's not like when you're calling your credit card company, you're going to get somebody that you haven't talked with in forever, don't know who you're talking with, where they're at. No, you're going to get that same case manager that knows what y'all talked about last time, is able to discuss things and know, hey, we talked about this last time. We can't recommend this. Let's point you in the right direction. Again, our patient services department is critical in this fight against pancreatic cancer. But on this next screen, you'll see some of the stats, some of the impacts that PanCan has actually made to date. And so with research, $208 million has been invested. Just this year alone in 2023, $34 million. Okay. Research is critical. You'll hear me say plenty of times that, hey, if we point a family in the right direction through one of our events, that's almost, and keep in mind, almost more important than any dollar we can raise. Because I do not want people to forget about those research dollars. That's how we are going to make advances in this disease. That's how we're going to get an early detection test. Keep in mind, pancreatic cancer does not have an early detection test like a color guard or a mammogram. We will have one day, but it's going to take that research to get it. Okay. As I said, our patient services department, I live by them. Everyone I talk to, I tell them, please talk with our patient services department. You can see 93% of our respondents told us that they feel more knowledgeable after speaking with an expert patient services case manager. 93%. That's almost 100. Okay. And so please, anybody you know, when you hear pancreatic cancer, ask them to call our patient services department. Okay. But advocacy plays a very, very important role. You can see since 1999, the National Cancer Institute funding for pancreatic cancer has been boosted by 970%. Okay. Getting in front of the state representatives, our senators, our congressmen and women, they have the voices to really make a difference and get that funding for that research. Okay. So every year in June, we actually have our advocacy week where we are focused on just making calls and emails and visits to our state representatives. And it's just to say, hey, we need your support. Many of them have been impacted by this cancer as well. Many people have personal connections. And so just talking with them, bringing it up, you never know, who you might connect with. And honestly, you never know who needs that support, who needs that purple family. Okay. I can tell you just in Louisiana, one of our volunteers, she was getting a t-shirt made, and the gentleman in her neighborhood, he was the one that makes the t-shirts. He's got a company, and she sent him over the logo, sent him over the colors and all of that. And when she went to go pick up the shirt, he stopped her and he said, hey, you got to tell me more about this. Like, what's this logo, the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network, and the color? Like, tell me more. So she did. And that's when he ended up telling her that his mom passed away from pancreatic cancer. and he wants to get involved. And so you never know who you might touch just by spreading that word. Okay. But in the community, you can see we raised $17.2 million through PanCan Purple Stripe. And this is across the nation. Okay. We actually have 60 different Purple Stripes across the nation where we say, whatever community you are in, there's a PanCan Purple Stripe there for you. Okay. And I know like 60 sounds like a lot, but to me, it's not enough. I'm working on others. Okay. Like we don't have one in Mississippi right now. We're going to have one in Mississippi. All right. And so, but that community aspect, we are truly, think of that community aspect as the ones that are the boots on the ground. Okay. We are, we have our patient services department. We have research. There's so many departments, but that community department is really the ones that are interacting with the patients, the volunteers, the community partners like Birmingham Bible Church. And so, like I said, just think of that community as the boots on the ground, but a lot of it is that PanCan Purple Stride, which we want you to be a part of, and we will certainly talk about later on in this presentation. Okay. But our 2030 goals, when we're talking about pancreatic cancer awareness, we've got to drive that national awareness rate to 30%. 30% still doesn't sound like a lot. When you think about the awareness rates for, say, breast cancer, which are in the 90s, that's where we want to be. We'll be there one day, but we know it's not going to happen overnight. This is a marathon. It's not a sprint. It won't just happen tomorrow. But talking with community partners and getting the word out, that's how we're going to really increase that awareness rate. So just think about that 18%, okay, where the majority of the country doesn't know about pancreatic cancer. I was talking with one family, and the message that they told me sticks with me, and it kind of hurts. And I don't want other families to go through this, but they told me that with pancreatic cancer, they didn't know about it until they had to know about it. And I don't want that. Had their family known about it prior, they may have been able to get out of it, get out in front of it, get the early detections, find a, get to the right doctors, and their mom might still be here today. Okay. And so driving that 5-year survival rate to 20%, again, 20% doesn't sound like anything. Okay. But it's making a difference. When I started doing all of this with pancreatic cancer, the survival rate was only about 6%. We are already at 12%. We've doubled that. We're making progress. Okay. We're doing the work, but we are going to increase that awareness rate to 30. We're going to drive that 5-year survival rate to 20, but it's going to be with the help of people like yourselves. Okay. We've got to spread that message, get it out in the community so people know the resources exist. I don't want families to think that they're the only ones going through this. They don't know where to turn. We can't have that. High mortality rates and low awareness fuel the need for transformative investments by mobilizing our PanCan community. Okay. We can increase funding for life-saving research. We can boost awareness and advocacy. We can reach all of those impacted by pancreatic cancer with vital patient and caregiver programs and services free of charge. Okay. We need people to know that there is a support system out there. Like I said a few minutes ago, I've come across too many families that think that they're the only ones going through this and don't know the resources exist. We can help point families in the right direction. Part of the way we do that is through our Purple Stride community. Okay. But one of the big reasons that we are here today is because we want you to be aware and we want you to reduce your risk for pancreatic cancer. A lot of people are like, hey, what are those signs? What are those symptoms? What do I need to look for? How can my family get out in front of it? And one of the things that I honestly want to do with pancreatic cancer is change the stigma around the disease. I've been out in the community where families will see my table and they'll see pancreatic cancer and they say, "Ooh, let me stay away from that. Don't wish that on me or my family." We can't have that, y'all. We need you to help raise that awareness, help point those families in the right direction. Okay. So today we are going to talk about reducing those risks. Again, I'm going to sound like a broken record talking about who this disease affects. You can see on the screen, I'm Black myself. Okay. So when we're talking about Black Americans, this is affected my family and friends. We've got to figure out why this disease affects African Americans more than any other race. Okay. That research, we'll figure it out. We're going to make those correlations. We're going to figure it out. Like I was telling Lady Pam earlier, we're actually working on partnering with the American Diabetes Association at the national level to get more of an understanding, get a message out, trying to figure out why are people with diabetes being diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. Is that is that something that doctors need to be saying when someone's diagnosed with diabetes? Hey, you are more at risk for pancreatic cancer. Are those doctors saying that? We don't know. We don't want to scare people. We definitely, it's not a 100%. Oh, if you get diabetes, you will get pancreatic cancer. There's no reason. We don't know why people get pancreatic cancer. Could it be genetics? Could it be diet? There's so many reasons with cancer that we don't know why people get it, honestly. And the scariest thing is cancer affects everyone differently. Nobody responds the same to cancer. We can have all of the tests and medicines and all of this, but who's to say that this one medicine is going to work this specific way on this body? No one responds the same. Just like our minds are different, everyone thinks differently. Everyone's body is different. And so that research, we're going to get it. We're going to figure it out. But just talking about the pancreas, a lot of people are like, what is the pancreas? What does it even do? But it's a small organ in the abdomen that is, you can see on the screen, it's actually between your stomach and the spine. So when we're saying between the stomach and the spine, you talk about a very, very, very hard place for doctors to get to. When you think about just a normal scan and everything that is in the stomach that they have to get through just to get to the pancreas. These tests, that's why there's really only a couple different ways to diagnose it and know that someone has a tumor. Okay. But even the spine, when you think about where your back is and where your spine is at, and the pancreas is in between your stomach and your spine, that's a complicated spot. Okay. So it's hard for doctors to get to. And a lot of people do not realize that the pancreas actually almost stretches completely across your body. So there's a head to it, there's a tail to it. They're parts of the pancreas. And so sometimes someone may have to go in and have the head of their pancreas removed, have the tail of it removed. There's so many different surgeries that they try to attack this one. But really, what is it? It helps us digest our food and it controls our blood sugar levels. Okay. So when we're talking about controlling those blood sugar levels, diabetes, what's that nickname for diabetes? That's sugar.
Sugar. Yeah.
That's right. That's sugar. And so the pancreas is actually, it helps to control those blood sugar levels. So when you think about that correlation between diabetes and pancreatic cancer, that's why we're making that correlation. But with the cancer, it's an abnormal growth of cells in the pancreas. Okay, cells form a mass called a tumor. The tumor affects the pancreas' ability to function properly. Think about someone with diabetes and battling that sugar, and then their pancreas is not able to actually function properly and control that blood sugar level. So there's a lot of research that we're going to do. And like I said, we're working on partnering with the American Diabetes Association to get a larger message out to the community. Let's get those warning signs out. You know, how can people reduce their risk? Okay. But a big reason that we are here today is because November is Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month. We ask that you help raise awareness. Like I said, Lady Pam is an awareness raiser herself. Just hosting this program for Winning Wednesdays, she's an awareness raiser and helping us raise awareness about pancreatic cancer. But we ask that you connect those touched by pancreatic cancer, connect them with our patient services. I will make sure that everybody has the number for our patient services department, but that is one of the biggest things we can do. I was actually in a meeting about 2 weeks ago with PricewaterhouseCoopers here in Atlanta, and one of the gentlemen that was serving on the panel, he was saying that some of his friends were asking him what he was participating in and what he was doing with pancreatic cancer. And it allowed him to be able to tell that message and spread it just to his few friends. And I told him he was an awareness raiser himself. Because you never know, one of his friends, they may have a family member that may be experiencing something, and they can help point that family in the right direction. So again, I will sound like a broken record, but we are all awareness raisers, and we can help point families in the right direction. But we need you to take action as a community to reduce those risks for pancreatic cancer, okay? And when we're talking about those risks, here's 7 steps to reduce your risk. 1, let's know those symptoms. The symptoms of pancreatic cancer, honestly, they are kind of vague. And it's a tough one because a lot of doctors, when you come in complaining about, say, back pain or nausea, something like that, they don't want to just start with pancreatic cancer. There are things they need to rule out. You know, let's say it's not this. Pancreatic cancer is honestly the last thing they want it to be. And so they're trying to rule so many other things out. But think about it. If we had an early detection test, how much would that help? But again, know those symptoms, okay? The abdomen, back pain, nausea, poor appetite, weight loss, stool changes, diabetes, yellowing of the skin, as in jaundice, okay? I tell people, no one knows your body better than you, all right? You can go to a doctor, he can run this test, run this scan, say, hey, no, you are perfectly fine. But you yourself know something's off. Go get that second opinion. Go get that third opinion. Get the opinion until you are comfortable with that answer. No one knows your body better than yourself, okay? But please make those healthy food choices. We talk about the diet. We know how we like to eat in the South. We love our Coca-Colas, our sweet teas. Like, we just got over Thanksgiving. I know everyone ate right for Thanksgiving, okay? But you know, we can't eat like that every week, every day, okay? We got to make those healthy choices. Eat those fruits and vegetables at every meal, you know, and don't try to have the candy yams every single time. It has got the sugar in it, but please try to make those healthy choices and get moving. Regular physical activity, even if it's just a little bit, okay? It helps. Just get moving. You can see it, you know, it helps reduce the risk for the risk for pancreatic cancer and other cancers, not just pancreatic. All right, but get moving, be physical, limit that alcohol. I know we all have to have a glass of wine from time to time, but just look, you can see occasional drinks are fine. I know everyone has to have one at times, but just, you know, monitor it. Don't do too much. Just occasional drinks are fine. And of course, everyone knows, don't use tobacco products. Cigarettes, cigars, chewing tobacco, they don't only increase your risk for pancreatic cancer, but they increase your risk for every cancer. Okay? Every cancer, not just pancreatic. Using those tobacco products, it increase your risk for everything. Okay? Again, being mindful of your weight. If you're working on, shedding some weight, just shedding a little bit helps. Even if we're talking 5 to 10 pounds, that helps. Just getting out and get moving, be active. Okay. And a big thing, learn your family history and get an annual checkup. One of my friends, his father actually passed away from pancreatic cancer earlier this year. And he did not realize until his father was going through the battle that his uncle had passed away and his grandmother had passed away from pancreatic cancer. He just knew they had passed away, but didn't really know what it was. But his father being diagnosed allowed them to have that talk about the family history. And so now both him and his brother are going through genetic testing to find out if they are at risk for pancreatic cancer one day. Okay. So these 7 risks, I have this in an image that I'm going to share with Lady Pam after this. So she will have this and she'll be able to share it with anyone if they need this. But we need the community to think about these 7 steps of reducing your risk. Okay. Know the symptoms, the healthy choices, get moving, limit the alcohol, tobacco products, be mindful of your weight, and learn your family history. Learning that family history can help you with so many other things, not just reducing your risk for pancreatic cancer. Okay. There may be something else down the line, but learning that family history can help you with so much.
And Snapper, let me interject something for a minute. And you're right, it's so important to know your family history. And I've told this story before when we were talking about breast cancer on another Winning Wednesday. My mom, she developed breast cancer. I think she probably was like 73. But well past to me the age of like, how is she getting breast cancer? But I had the conversation with my daughter who's in her 20s, and her doctor told her that instead of her getting her mammogram at 40, she need to come in at 35.
Exactly.
So it just goes to show you, if you know your family history, then you will know how to talk to your children, or talk to other people in your family, your nieces and nephews. So, like you said, that is really important and really crucial.
100%. Thank you for that message, Lady Pam.
Yeah.
So we're going to make sure you know those risks. Okay. But April 27th, 2024, I want everyone to write that date down. Okay. April 27th, 2024 is the last weekend of April. It is going to be a magical day. Okay. There have been 5Ks that you've been to. There have been walks that you've been to. But if you haven't been to Purple Stride, you don't know what we're talking about. Okay. And we don't want you to miss it because it's a fun one. But Purple Stride is the ultimate walk to end pancreatic cancer. Okay. Together, we've raised over $150 million and engaged more than 1 million volunteers and advocates just in support of pancreatic cancer. I can remember my first Purple Stride in 2016 and just being overcome with emotion. It was like time froze and I saw that sea of purple. And I just couldn't believe all these families were here for that same cause. And when my track mentor, when he was going through things, I had never heard of pancreatic cancer before. I didn't know what it was. But Purple Stride was my first event where I really got to see the pancreatic cancer community. And y'all, I'm telling you, time froze. And I still remember that sea of purple and being overcome with emotion. Okay. But it is truly an inspirational day where we celebrate survivors, we honor those that we've lost, and we turn the nation purple across the entire nation, from New York to Seattle, everywhere in between. It is Purple Stride Day. Okay. We actually have 60 different walks across the nation. You can see on the screen. And like, I know I've got to move that dot up for Alabama a little bit. I know it looks a little off. I know that's not Birmingham, right, Doc? Yeah, I can go up a little bit, but you can see across the nation, we've got purple strides in so many different communities. I am working on Mississippi. I'm not, look, personally, I'm not happy with the fact that we go Georgia, Alabama, Louisiana. There's a lot of Mississippi that we miss. There are a lot of resources that are needed there. And so that's one of my personal goals that I'm working on. And I know one day we will have a Purple Stride Jackson, Mississippi. Okay. I have talked with plenty of folks and they're like, oh, yeah, like we can make it happen. Okay. But think about that 60 events across the nation, all on the same day. That is truly a national movement where all these purple strides are happening at the same time. It used to be back in the day that we'd have purple strides just, an affiliate could pick anytime throughout the year and have a purple stride when they wanted. So we'd have Alabama in April or May, Atlanta in November, Louisiana will be some other time, and just across the nation, it's purple stride whenever. But we made the move to the one goal, one nation, one big day, and it is such a special movement. I could tell you at first when I heard the news, I was like, "Ooh, wait a second, I don't know how this is gonna work. Like that's a lot." But y'all, it's so powerful when you truly know, when you see the pictures, and it's, you're seeing the Golden Gate Bridge in California, you're seeing places in DC at the National Mall, and everybody truly supporting Purple Stride across the nation. It's powerful. And so we can't wait for all of you to be at Purple Stride, Alabama. Just last year, we actually had over 450 people that came out to Railroad Park. We had over 50 teams and we raised over $70,000 just right here in Alabama. Okay. Kudos. Big applause. Lady Pam had her team out there. And look, we already talked. Cannot wait for April 27th. It is going to be bigger and better than what we had last year. Like our volunteers have been meeting, planning, and y'all, I'm telling you, Purple Stride 2024 is going to be an amazing day. So please make sure to save that date of April 27th. You've got to look. I'm gonna sound like a broken record again on everything. There's so many things. They're gonna be like, this broken record, he just keeps playing. It's a loop. But yes, April 27th, save that date. It's going to be a special day at Railroad Park. Okay. And I was telling Lady Pam earlier, a big thing with Purple Stride, Alabama, we are not asking you to get up at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, come out there for some early walk. We are actually starting at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. All right. So you've got time to, if you want to sleep in, sleep in. If you need to run your errands in the morning, do whatever that morning. And you got time to come over to Purple Stride, Alabama in the afternoon. Okay. So it'll be an amazing day. But when you think about Purple Stride, there's so many different ways that people partner with it. It could be sponsorship, teams, event matching gifts, cause marketing campaigns, vendor campaigns, all of that. So we want you to think when you're at work, your company may support, they may do event matching gifts. Keep that in mind. Okay. Your company may start a team. Like one of the people I was talking with was with Bank of America, and they're really just in this for their mother. But they're like, no, Bank of America needs to be a part of this. And so just keep in mind, there's so many different ways to actually partner with Purple Stride. And a lot of these different ways that you see on the screen is how Purple Stride comes together. There are a lot of the behind the scenes things with Purple Stride that people don't know about, but this is part of how some of that magic comes to play. Okay. But again, your participation can help end pancreatic cancer. You being that awareness raiser, helping point somebody in the right direction, that's what we need. Okay. We look forward to the tremendous impact that you are going to make in this community. Being a part of Purple Stride, being a part of PanCan, helping raise awareness, just helping point families in the right direction. That's what we need, and we cannot thank you enough. Okay. Again, the biggest thank you to every single one of you. When I say thank you, it is not just on behalf of PanCan. It is truly a personal thank you as well. We are all brought to this for different reasons, but we're all here for the same reason. And so again, when I say thank you, it is a personal thank you as well. But we need you to help spread our message and help point families in the right direction. And so again, thank you to Lady Pam. You are, look, can't say enough amazing things about you. These winning Wednesdays and what you're doing in the community, we need more of that. And so the biggest thank you to you. You are exactly what we talk about when we mention awareness raisers, just helping point families in that right direction. So we thank you for having this show, having this time, and allowing people to hear this message. So thank you to you, Lady Pam.
Thank you so much, Snapper. I'm one of those people that I didn't really become invested into pancreatic cancer until I knew someone. You know, I've heard of celebrities getting it, didn't really register too much. And my hairdresser, and I want you to talk about this a little bit. She wasn't feeling well and was almost one of those things where she'd go to the doctor and the doctor would just kind of give her this, give her that. Still, she knew something wasn't right, was talking to one of her clients because, you know, we're always talking in the beauty shop.
That's right.
And they said, oh, no, you need to do something. And sure enough, it was pancreatic cancer and it was stage 2. But it goes to show you that this particular disease, I think you said it before, it just kind of looks like something else. And so by the time they actually figure it out, for some people, it is too late.
Right.
But talk a bit about really fighting for your health.
Mm-hmm.
Going to the doctor is saying, oh, it's not anything, or,
Mm-hmm.
you know, just take this and that's not working.
Right.
Talk a little bit about that.
Definitely. Look, you've got to be your biggest advocate. You know when something is off. I was talking with a lady in Louisiana just yesterday, and she was telling me that basically this one hospital system had told her that, oh no, you're fine. You know, it's just, you know, a little indigestion, go home, come back in a couple months and you'll be fine. But she knew herself that something was off. She went to another hospital system. That hospital system could not believe that the hospital prior had released her and told her to go home. That's where you've got to be your biggest advocate. When you know something's off, go to a different doctor, get that second opinion, get that third opinion, get that fourth opinion if you have to. But when we talk about those signs and symptoms, it's honestly it's scary because like a pain in your back, I could slip and fall and it's like, ooh, I've got a pain in my back. But I don't know that, hey, this could be pancreatic cancer. You know, there was a lady I was talking with who got into a car accident. She had not been sick at all. No signs, no symptoms, no nothing. Got into a car accident. When they took her to the emergency room, they did the scans on her body to make sure that everything was okay from the car accident. And that's when they saw pancreatic cancer in her.
Wow.
Okay. So when talking with her, when she was like, that right there was nothing but God. 100%. You know, here she is, of course, upset about the car accident and the car being totaled. But that was God's way of telling her, hey, no, it's something more serious going on. We're going to be fighting pancreatic cancer.
Right.
You know, and so it's one of those things where, you know, you may have a stomach ache, but don't wait. You know, even Black men, you know, we're the type where if you're not taking us in the ambulance, We're not
Right.
going. We're not
Right.
going. We can't have that. We cannot
Right.
have that. When you feel something, get it checked out. Get out in front of it.
Mm,
It's I always think about my track coach where he was recommending healthy diet, recommending exercise, out there running on the track with kids,
mm,
everything. And you think he came down with pancreatic cancer?
mm,
It was scary. And
mm,
it's pancreatic cancer is one of those where I always relate it to getting that new car where you're in the dealership, you're signing those papers. You haven't seen that car anywhere on the road. You're going to be the first with it. But
mm.
the moment you leave that dealership, you
Right.
see that car everywhere.
Aware. Mm-hmm.
Pancreatic cancer is just like that, where we've never heard of it before. We haven't had that introduction. But the moment it pops up, it keeps popping up. And we realize, oh, wow, this is much bigger than I realized. Like there are a lot more people being affected than what I thought about. Since 2016, when my mentor got affected, I like I said, I had never heard of it, didn't know what it was, but the amount of people that I've seen and met affected by it since then, I'll forever do anything and everything I can for pancreatic cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And one day we will have the awareness rates of the other cancers. We will have an early detection test. I tell people all the time, start helping me think of what our early detection test name will be. Mammogram has theirs, Color Guard has theirs.
Yeah.
We're going to have something for pancreatic cancer one day, but I need you to help me start thinking of that name. Okay. Like I was watching Saturday Night Live one week and there was a skit for Color Guard on there. And I
Mm.
thought about it. I was like, that's the biggest advertisement for Color
That's
Guard.
right. It sure is.
Even though they're making fun of it,
Mm-hmm.
it was the biggest advertisement because now people are like, wait, what's Color Guard? What is this? And
Yeah.
doing research and trying to find things out. We will have an early detection test for pancreatic cancer one day. Okay. So,
Yeah.
like I said, need y'all to help us think of names of what that's going to be.
We sure will. And of course, we're going to participate again in April. So all of y'all, make sure y'all pay attention to our website, probably beginning of April, where either you can sign up or you can donate, and all donations go towards the Pancreatic Action Network. And so thank you, Snapper, really quick.
Yes.
And you did this last time. You sound very passionate about pancreatic cancer and making people aware of this disease. Can you tell us briefly why you're so passionate about it? Who has it affected in your life?
Yeah, definitely. I appreciate that. And look, I'm sorry I didn't share that at the beginning. I
That's,
feel like I usually do, and I think I just jumped right into it
that's
and
okay.
started talking. But yeah, back in 2016, I was in Houston, Texas with one of my mentors. We were working a track meet. He came down with a stomach ache. Just thought it was one of those, oh, I'm out of town, ate some bad food. I'll be fine in a couple days. It's, nothing major. Let me go to Walgreens, get some medicine, be good. And 2 weeks later, when we got back to Atlanta, he still had that same stomach ache. His wife took him to the hospital. He was diagnosed. And then 2.5 months later, I was at his funeral. And so watching a track coach who was vibrant, energetic, never a sick a day in his life, to watch him go from that to having to be pushed around in a wheelchair a couple of days before he passed away, and to see just how hard it attacked his body was scary.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I started volunteering that same year, and I have met so many people through this. Like one of my big sisters is actually a survivor where we met. She got diagnosed the exact same year that I started doing this. And so it's like we have that connection there, almost like we are truly family. It's like when I lost my mentor, I brought her in.
Mm-hmm.
And so just the people that I've met through this, but I can tell you it hurts me and angers me every time I have to add someone to the list for the reasons of why I do this.
Mhm.
And I can tell you my list has gotten pretty long. Like even this past year when one of my best friends, when his father was going through it, I can still even remember the conversations where, his father is still he's laying up on the bed with pancreatic cancer, but still, how's Snap doing? And I'm like,
Mhm.
wow, things I'll never forget. But like I said, it angers me every time I have to add somebody to this list. And so I want families to know that these resources are out there. There's support out there. Our patient services department is there to talk with people. And so, I'll just say real quick, one of my other mentors in track and field in 2019, it was a gentleman in Tennessee that passed away from pancreatic cancer, but he did not want anyone to know.
Mhm.
And I did not find out until his funeral that it was pancreatic cancer.
Mhm.
And I'll tell you that troubled me quite a bit when he knew everything that I do with pancreatic cancer, but he couldn't even tell me about it. And
Mhm.
he didn't want anyone to know. And so we've come across that before where there are families who don't want others to know that it is pancreatic cancer.
Mhm.
Like even a prime example here in Atlanta, there's a big team that we've got for Purple Stride Atlanta. It's the Bell Legacy team, and it's Bishop Eddie Long. And so while Bishop Eddie Long was alive, people knew he was battling something, but he never quite said what it was.
Mhm.
But once he passed away, that's when his congregation let the world know it is pancreatic cancer. And so they
Wow.
support. And so we've got the Bishop Eddie Long legacy team for Atlanta.
I
And
never knew
so
that.
yep. Yep. And so it's we want people to help point people in the right direction, raise that awareness. And I was talking with you, Lady Pam, earlier about we've got to change the stigma where people have seen my pancreatic cancer table and they're like, ooh, let me stay away from that. Don't wish that on me and my family. And
Mhm.
so that's the big thing is we can't have that. We've just got to spread that message of pointing families in the right direction.
Right. And just it just comes to just being informed. We want to
Mm-hmm.
be informed
100%.
about what's going on. Snapper, you did a wonderful job about talking about the signs and the symptoms, helping us to know our risk factors, um going to the doctor and just really being an advocate and just raising awareness. And so people are watching now. No questions have been posted, and there's some that's going to go back and watch later. But let's just make sure we're doing our part just to tell everyone about this. And if you need to go with somebody to the doctor, go with them to the doctor.
Right.
Sometimes it takes 4 ears listening to make
Mhm.
sure we're all hearing the same thing. And just making sure we're just doing our part to be healthy, stay healthy, all those things you talked about so that we can be healthy across the board. Because it's not just for pancreatic cancer. It's good, just to eat healthy anyway, to exercise.
That's
Uh,
right.
so wonderful job. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Once,
Lady Pam.
yeah, and once again, of course, we'll see y'all in April 27th,
That's right.
2024 at the Railroad Park.
That's right.
Everyone, of course, you can sign up on the website. Once we get it posted, we will let everybody know. And so thank you again. Thank you so much. We appreciate the work that you and everybody do. So I know that's not easy, especially advocating to the government, hey, we need this money for research. And hopefully, like you said, we can get some type of detection kit
Oh, we
to
will.
help
We
us
will.
know. Yeah, I know that's coming. I know that's
We will.
coming. So that's all we have for today. Thank you so much. Please make sure y'all share the word. And of course, you have just been here on Winning Wednesday with Snapper Freeman and Lady Pam. Talking about pancreatic cancer. And of course, this is the forum every Wednesday at 12 noon where we like to encourage you, enlighten you, and just educate you about everything that's going on to hopefully that's so that you can have a better life and have a great life more abundantly. So that's all we have. We will see you guys on Sunday. No winning Wednesday for the month of December. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to start back up in January. But feel free to go back and look at all of the winning Wednesdays we had this year. We had some great ones. And so go back and look at those. And so till next time, thank you, Snapper.
Thank you so much, Lady Pam. Have a wonderful day.
All right, you too. Thank you.
Bye.